Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about OWCS Korea and the Asian region a bit more broadly in terms of how they qualify for the main event. Now I imagine a lot of people probably know that 2 teams from the Asian region are going to go to the offline events at both the mid-season and end-of-season point. But what maybe people are less familiar with is exactly how they get there. So today I wanted to take a look through at what's happening in Korea right now. We're about halfway through the group stage and how this group stage is going to affect the team's chances for qualification. So if we take a little look now at our original calendar, one thing that's important to note, a big difference between Europe and America, is there's going to be 2 stages for EU and NA, one in March, one in April. Whereas in Asia, we're just going to have one big 2-month stage where there's a series of qualification, then some playoffs and a LAN in Asia as well, which will eventually give us our top 2 teams. So that maybe sounds a little bit confusing and a lot of stuff going on. So let's break it down a little bit. So this is a group stage, this is a table. You guys have seen tables before. So this is pretty straightforward. All these top 9 teams are going to play each other in a round robin type thing. And then obviously they will be ranked based on their record. Then you'll see there's the color coding here when there's a top 4, and then a 5th to 8th, and then a poor 9th team, which is currently Vesta. So how this will work is the top 4 teams will go through to a seeding tournament, and the 5th to 8th will go through to a last chance qualifier. And the last team, the unfortunate 9th place team, will just be cut and be out of a tournament from this point on. So in terms of where we are now, we want to look at, we're halfway through the group. So these games to the left have been done. These games to the right are still to be played. So we've still got about half of groups left. But if we take a look now at the brackets, this can maybe explain a little bit more what we're expecting to happen. So as we can see, these top 4 teams are going to go into this seeding decider matches. And what happens in these seeding decider matches is there's going to be another round robin type thing that will determine who goes in as 1st seed, 2nd seed, 3rd seed, 4th seed. And then these 5th and 8th teams, they're going to go from here into a last chance qualifier. They'll be seeded into this bracket, the 4 other teams. They'll do a double elimination bracket, at which point the top 2 are going to come out of that. And then they're going to enter the playoffs. So as far as the seeding teams go, we're going to have all 4 of the seeding teams will still qualify, but there's a top 2 and a bottom 2. The top 2 are going to get a little skip all the way to the semi-final, while the other 2 teams are going to come straight, have to come in at the quarterfinals. Then from our last chance qualifier, these top 2 teams are going to come into this tournament again and join our teams in the quarterfinals, and that gives us a sort of 6-team double elimination bracket. And then, a 6-team single elimination bracket, I should say. So then what we get is we'll get the semi-finals, and then we'll get the grand finals, and we'll also get a 3rd place match. Now, this 3rd place match is very important because, well, obviously these top 2 teams are going to play for 1st and play for the title and the additional prize money that comes with 1st. Both of these teams are going to go to the Asia LAN. So if we go back to this, the Asia LAN is actually this bit here. We're not talking about the major, we're just talking about the Asia LAN, okay? So let me find it. Here we go. So these top 2 people are going to go through straight to that. Also, the winner of the 3rd place match is going to go and join that, will be the 3rd person. And then the 4th team will enter the wild card match. Now, if you remember this graphic, this will maybe start to make a little bit more sense. And this is now all of a sudden, this is our 9-team round robin. The 3 teams go to this. And then the 4th place team goes to this wild card. So if I'm looking at these games, what's super important for me is getting into this top 4. Because if you're in this wild card match, you only have to beat the 3rd place Japanese team and the 3rd place Pacific team, which in theory should be a pretty straightforward qualifier for the 4th place Korean team to get themselves into this spot at the LAN, in theory. So it's super important you get in this top 4, and obviously if you can secure one of the top seedings, you put yourself in a really good position because you go straight into the semi-finals. And if you go straight into the semi-finals, well, that's top 4. So you can actually secure yourself at the worst case a wildcard slot by doing well in these seeding decider matches. So even though there's going to be a lot of matches over the next month and a lot of the same teams playing each other, there is actually quite high stakes in all of them. Because if you get one of these seeding positions and these top 2, it's actually really high value for you. Likewise, once we start getting to the last chance qualifying, these are obviously elimination and double elimination brackets, then single elimination quarterfinals, a lot of stakes in play for all of this. And then once we get these top 4 teams that will go to the LAN in Asia, this is where we enter this stage, which is the 8 teams, which will include the 3 Korean teams, the top 2 from Japan, the top 2 from Pacific, and also the wild card team, which is presumably a Korean team. And then there'll be a tournament here, a LAN tournament, of which the top 2 will go to our main event at Dreamhack, which is the big international major as well. So hopefully that helps explain a few things about everything we're expecting to see and all the different formats we experience. It means that these group stages are quite important because, again, if you can get into this seeding tournament, it's actually really important. And while many people expect WOC and Falcons to storm and take these spots, maybe FTG as well, actually getting this 4th spot is really important for a lot of teams if they can avoid these last chance qualifiers. It'll be much nicer for them, much less stress, and put them in a much better position to ultimately get good seeding and good qualification going into the main event. So that was the explanation. Hopefully that all made sense and gives everyone a little bit more insight into how the Asia region is going to work and how we're going to see and sift through all these Korean teams in terms of the 2 we finally get to see at the major itself at Dreamhack. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.